Which Douglas is our starting judge out of, I believe, Dodgeville or Mineral Point area. You go by, you get number 1 is WHISKY'S Yankee, the 2-year-old by reluctance Yankee, owned by Tom and Jeff Carey out of Columbus Junction, Iowa, and Nancy Carey out of Columbus Junction, Curtis Carey in the race fight, WHISKY'S Indiana, the 2-horse. Owner, trainer, driver David Ginter out of Mineral Point. Always Talking by Always a Virgin, owned by Bo DeLong and Pat DeLong out of Shanahan, Illinois, and Clinton, Wisconsin. And Always a Romance, also owned by William and Patrick. Again, Pat DeLong in the race fight.
We're on today.
Yeah, it is.
Starting judges call the colts to the gate. I'm sure some of these colts have been behind the gate to train, others may not have been. I'm sure the Longs have seen the starting gate before. A lot of times trainers will just use a pickup truck with a ladder or a homemade gate on the back, but they've seen something moving in front of them. They've been led a few times. DUDDYS Yankee on the inside with Curtis Carey, WHISKY'S Indiana with ECockroft. Always Talking Bo DeLong, and Always a Romance with his son Patrick DeLong. Just to take this colt around one more time, get a good look at the gate before I let them go. Indiana. Rail horse, a little rough gate enough.
Oops.
Another horse making a break good there, that's WHISKY'S Indiana. He will not get away with the field. Sorry, Judge, will not go this time. Of course, one of the outside rough gate a little bit too. Let's take a look at that gate. All right, we left one. Of course, WHISKY'S Indiana leading the gate first. Away, that's the 3-horse, Always Talking with Bo DeLong. Always Talking, right there, Always a Romance, trying to grab that 2-hole. DUDDYS Yankee third around the top of the turn. Trailed them all, of course. WHISKY'S Indiana. Now look down the backside for this first time to get on the motor. Always Talking, Bo DeLong by about 1.5. Right there, Always a Romance. Gets a good 2-hole ride, and DUDDYS Yankee third now, but separate from the field by about 6 open lengths. Another 25 lengths up the racetrack for WHISKY'S Indiana. Bo takes him down to the quarter-mile mark now with Always Talking. Gets down to the quarter quickly, right there. Again, Always a Romance in this golden spot. The quarter 34-1 at 216 shots from there. Easy quarter for these colts around the lower turn, no change. Always Talking, Bo DeLong, right there. Always a Romance. Just like at home 1-2, they come down the lane and up the racetrack a little bit now. We're looking at DUDDYS Yankees third by about 10. And distance right now, WHISKY'S Indiana. Down the halfway mile mark, no change in the order. Always Talking, Bo DeLong by about 2. Right there, Always a Romance. Just on Patrick right there on the doorstep at his helmet. And DUDDYS Yankee trying to close the gap. In the clubhouse turn right now, no change in the order. The half of 1, 7, and 4, about 215 shot on the top of the turn again. It's Always Talking, a nice smile right now with Bo DeLong. Right there, Always a Romance. Let's see if Patrick is going to test him. They get down to the 3/4 mile mark. Down the back lane again, this field is strung out. 1-2 of the DeLong colts. That is Always Talking by about a 1.5, maybe 2. Right there, Always a Romance on the doorstep. Up the racetrack to DUDDYS Yankee third by about 30. 3/4 mile mark and beyond. A 2-horse race style. They drive around that too. 141 and 141 and 1. Always Talking, Always a Romance right now. Both on the long stable. Up on the outside, Always a Romance. Now it's Pat DeLong pulls on that right line and asks more out of this 2-year-old. They drive for home on the inside, Always Talking. On the outside, Always a Romance. Father, son going at it. They drive away. It's going to be tight now because of who do you like? That's the wire. It's going to be the 4-horse, Always a Romance. Johnny Yankee and Whiskey's, Indiana. Now come down the racetrack in the winner's circle, ladies and gentlemen. This is Always a Romance. Why Always a Virgin of Silver Romance by Cam's Card Shark, owned by William and Pat DeLong. Wisconsin and Illinois collectively against Pat DeLong. In the race bike, trained by Jay Gerald. Jay Gerald trained both of these DeLong. Pat wins it, beats Pop home at 2:13 and 3. Nice job, Patrick. Again, the mile was 2:13 and 3. The quarter was 34 and 1. The half 107 and 4. 3/4 141 and 3. The mile 2:13 and 3. For 2-year-old, as they all were